have an easy experience. And you know what the greatest honor I've ever received as a player is? In my 4th year and my 5th year, I was named team captain.
Just before Frizzell got him, and a leaping interception by Woodson, who got a foot down somehow inbounds.
Thomas, touchdown, Wolverine.
Nice call.
Here's a look at Boston and Woodson on the outside. They're just standing there, now they're fighting.
One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
Plant their flag in the middle of the Ohio State field, and the Buckeyes rushed right.
Play fake. McCarthy scanning downfield and throws it high, and Wilson's got it. Roman Wilson weaving down inside.
There it is. They won't pull that down. Chris, as they say in Ann Arbor, conquering heroes, victors valiant, Michigan, national champion.
Good evening, Kyle and Wolverine Nation. How are we doing this evening? And it is Victory
Tuesday.
Victor Valiant Tuesday after beating Michigan State on Saturday.
Yep.
What did you think of the game? Let's just get into this right away.
Pretty nervous in the first half. Pretty nervous. You know, I started thinking, oh man, it's a rivalry game. Like anything's gonna happen. And we were walking on. I was walking on eggshells. I was at a hotel with my family on Saturday night, and I just pacing around the lobby. That because my daughter had gone to bed already, so I couldn't watch it in the room, at least the second half. So they gave me a TV in the lobby, and I'm pacing around, going nuts while everyone else is watching the World Series. And, you know, first half, pretty nervous. When it was 10-7 at halftime, you know, we ended up pulling away. I think the score doesn't really reflect how I felt during that game because of the late touchdowns by Michigan. But first half, man, I was nervous. I was thinking rivalry game, anything can happen. But it you know, it worked out the way it worked out. How'd you feel?
I'll be honest with you. Even in the first half, I didn't really have a sense that Michigan State was going to win that game. I thought it was more just when Michigan was going to pull away than if.
Yeah.
Like, besides the one drive where Michigan missed like 16 tackles again on that drive, and Michigan State put the 7 on the board, their offense really couldn't move the ball. Aiden Childs was probably just as bad, or if not worse, than Bryce Underwood was in this game.
Yeah.
Underwood played like this was the reminder that he's a freshman.
Mm-hmm. Rivalry game on the road. I had it in my I wrote down that our offense was making MSU's defense look like Ohio State. They were shutting them down, man. MSU's defense was shutting them down early. I was getting worried at first. Like we couldn't move the ball. Justice Haynes kind of got shut down in the first quarter. And I was like, man, what are we going to do? How are we going to make adjustments on this when they're shutting down the best, you know, our playmaker? But the adjustments were made and the better team won. But
we have my cousin watching all the way from Italy.
Whoa!
That's him in the corner. If you can imagine what time is it? 9. It's like 2:30 in the morning. Massimo, go to bed.
Yeah, go to bed. What are you doing?
But yeah, listen, I don't know. I just never had that feeling. You know what I mean? That they were going to lose.
MSU's offense never gave me the feeling that they were going to be the ones to do it. But, you know, there's 3 phases to football. And like Aiden Childs, I never felt. Frazier kind of gave me a scare. He had that one long run in the first, but which set up. Did that not set up their touchdown? But it was never Michigan State's offense that was worrying me. It was our offense and Michigan State's defense that was worrying me. That's why I thought we were going to start kicking field goals, and then they were going to start kicking field goals, and it was going to come down to whose kicker was better or who was going to get that late touchdown. Because when it's in the fourth quarter and it's a 6-point game in a rivalry game, anyone can win, right? But
the craziest part was I felt like the Michigan State DC looked more like the coach than Smith did.
Looked more like the head coach. He sure did. Well, the camera was on him a lot more.
He was, well, yeah, because Smith sat there like a dead body.
And he's usually up in the box too, right?
Yeah, I don't know his name, but he was fired up. He was going. He wanted that win.
Rizzo.
But I think, I don't know, the whole time I just felt that if Michigan kept doing what they were doing, minus the unable to throw, that eventually they were going to wear down that defense. I didn't understand on, I think it was was it the first where they kicked the field goal where they got down to the 3 and they went run, pass, field goal?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at all.
I thought maybe that was, I didn't understand. The only way I could understand it is if they were attempting to get Bryce into a groove, get him comfortable with his arm. Because I think they knew they'd get down there again. But I mean, first drive, you got to get the 7 points. Like that's, I understand where that is, but maybe they were just trying to get Bryce some confidence early on in the game.
Like it was, if you look at by the stats, like the game, I don't think the score does it justice. I think it could have been a lot worse. It should have been a lot worse. It almost has the same feel as Nebraska did, where it was a lot closer than it should have been. Yeah. And I think that's, again, because the offense went stale at times. Because
of the possessions right down the middle. Wow. I think the biggest thing there is you go down to see penalties. Michigan State had 12, and at least 3 of those were unnecessary.
Yes.
Hot head moves, people getting in each other's faces, and maybe frustration setting in on the MSU side of it later in the game. But that was huge. And almost like every time one of those flags came out and it was, on MSU, I was like, oh man, like that was like, thank you. Like the football gods are shining down on us as we're like struggling against this inferior team, which they almost proved not to be. They were not inferior.
There was a couple. Let's call a spade a spade. There was a couple bad calls for Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
That one that was offside to neglect the fumble.
Yeah,
that wasn't offside after they showed it. But
yeah,
listen, at the end of the day, we've all had.
Time. There was also a egregious pass interference call against Michigan that wasn't called at 9:21 in the first quarter. The guy was all over him. Michigan's, I think it was Hill, draped all over the guy, and no flag. I couldn't believe it. I felt bad. Like I felt like they needed to throw another. They needed to penalize Michigan somewhere because that would have been a first down, and I believe it was on a third down play. And I think there was 2 that I counted that Michigan got away with some grabby. Playing grabby downfield with the receivers, but
and then you got this right here, 276 yards rushing to 115.
Well, whoever wins the rushing battle usually wins the game.
I think you can officially say we have a pretty solid 1-2 punch.
I'd say so. And I think some of us already kind of knew. I think you and I both already knew that, but like this was like galvanizing that. As I'm not like, you can compare him to the Lions. You can compare him to the Haskins-Corum duo from a few years ago. I don't really want to compare him to Corum Edwards because I think both of these guys are way better than Donovan Edwards. But the Haskins-Corum duo is what this really reminds me of.
I really like how Marsh runs the ball too. Marshall runs the ball. Yeah, like I know it's hard with all the different Marshes.
Yeah, there was even a Marsh, Nick Marsh on MSU. I was getting so confused.
The way he runs the
Easily
ball
confused,
and he just carries the piles.
Yeah,
and you need
he
those
likes to run through people.
Those 3 extra yards, and even the announcers are like, "Is he gonna go down?" Just a solid kid.
Yeah,
but a huge win.
Huge
a win in a rivalry game. A win that we've both seen really good Michigan teams go in and lose.
Yup. Trouble with the snap.
I think we were both pretty off on the score.
Yeah, I had 35-14. You had 35-10. Buckeye Steve had 27-10. None of us were really close.
No. And I think we were kind of stupid not taking into consideration that this game usually is close.
I think we said it. Like, all of us said those words, but then we just went off on these ridiculous scores. It's like we didn't even listen to our own advice.
Coming out of the game, what I didn't understand is this growing, or I shouldn't say growing sentiment, this group of Michigan fans that want more fired still.
I mean,
and even listening to sports talk radio, and I know you probably have it on in your car, there was a big sentiment of these guys calling up that he's not the right guy.
Only time will tell that, right?
Yes. And what I'm kind of getting sick of, because even when I was out watching the game, you could hear these comments. He's not Jim. We need a guy like Jim. Me and you both were around for the whole. I think Michigan might have grown amnesia or developed amnesia, or they're just too short, don't have a long enough memory to understand that Jim sucked the first 6 years.
Yeah. You're talking to a guy who went after they lost to MSU one year, went to the mall and went to Lids and made a fired Jim hat because I was so mad.
Like, what kills me too is I got to listen to these. Oh, Jim. Jim left the program in a worse spot than he found it.
Yep.
Like, Jim's first year team had 32 future NFL players on it.
Yeah.
I can't find 32 future NFL players on last year's team.
I don't. I could name 10 because those are the ones who were drafted. But I don't think saying fire Moore right now is jumping the gun. Remember, think of the youth of the football team. The one issue I have with Moore is that it seemed when Pogge was coaching, he was. Underwood was allowed to do whatever. Underwood was allowed to be Underwood. He was allowed to be, or what we conceive or what we want Underwood to be. He was allowed to, he was running, he was throwing, he was being a playmaker, and it just seemed.
Yeah, but is that because of
the opponent?
The Central Michigan games in there, and Nebraska was more of the way they have been using them.
Absolutely.
But what I did read somewhere, and I wish I would have kept it, was there was a number of plays where Underwood was supposed to throw it, and they ran an RPO, and it was up to him, and he decided to give the running backs the ball.
Yep.
Which, when you ran for 246 yards,
probably the right decision.
And 2 of the touchdowns they walked in untouched. He probably made the right decision.
Right.
And when you hear something like that, to know that he's actually making decisions like that, it's not about his stats, it's about just winning the game. I think that shows he's maturing.
For sure.
You can be 8 for 17 for 86 yards and usually win games, but they did enough against a very bad Michigan State team that's, I think, about to enter the chaos that's going to be the coaching carousel this year. And they won. And we've seen good Michigan teams lose to bad Michigan State teams before. And you got to give Moore, to me, Moore needs at least another year. Young team.
100%. He deserves a chance. I believe. He was there for when Harbaugh was suspended, and we won those games in Happy Valley and in Columbus too. I think he deserves a chance to. I don't think it'd be fair to Bryce Underwood to bring someone else in. I think that's the main reason why you keep Moore, and especially if we win out, if we beat Ohio, that's 10-2, man, and you're in the playoff. And if people still want him fired after that's beyond bonkers in my mind. If we win out and then we end up losing to Ohio, we could still squeak in that playoff. But I don't think that should be the catalyst that he gets fired, is if we lose to Ohio State, because how many times did Jim lose to Ohio State?
The craziest part is, and I got in an argument with one guy, and he was talking about the Jim era and this and that and national championships, and I asked him a simple question. What was Jim's record the first 4 games against Michigan State and Ohio State?
Would he be 2-6?
No, the first 4 games. So the first 2 against Ohio State and the first 2 against Michigan State.
Oh,
the same thing. 1-3. He was 1 win, 3 losses. What's more in his first 4 games?
4-0.
4-0. Yet he's getting questioned. And if Moore ends the year, let's say they run the table, I think in their first 2 years, Jim would have had just 2 more wins than Moore has right now. And Moore did that on a team without a quarterback.
And he beat Ohio State.
Yes.
He's beaten Ohio State twice now. Well, one as interim head coach, one as head coach. He's 2-0 against Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Okay, and
as a 23-point underdog, he beat him.
Yeah. Granted, that was a little bit of Ryan Day being stubborn as all hell, but which he will not make that mistake this year. So we need to be ready. But that is I understand, because Michigan fans are Michigan fans, and I'm one of them. I'm not excluding myself from that group. We get frustrated easily, but I'm not on this. I'm definitely not on that train. I'm not on that train yet. I'm not on that. I can't figure it out yet. If we lose a game, if we in the next couple weeks, and then we lose to Ohio bad, we end up with 4 losses. I still think he comes back next year, because who are you going to replace him with? And like I said, I don't think it's fair to Bryce. Bryce wants this coach. He hasn't said anything to the contrary, right? He hasn't, so I don't know. I'm at a loss right now because of where we sit at 6-2. Could it be better? For sure it could be better, but it could also be way worse. We could have not made halftime adjustments against State and lost that game. Easy. But, they stuck to the ground and pound, they stuck to their game plan, and they came away with a win. Is that going to work every week? It'll probably work up until the last weekend of the season. But then things are going to have to get creative, and we're going to have to play real good.
I think the biggest thing for me is because there's so much talent missing on the receiver, at quarterback, at key positions. And I know it's hard in this day and age. The problem is everybody looks to Cignetti of his success in 2 years, and they're like, oh, everybody should have that.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that. And people don't have patience anymore. I think you do need to give him at least another year.
I believe so.
Youngest team in football, I think he's building it in a certain way to be different from Jim. But they're not there yet, because those pieces were all missing.
Yeah, and it takes time for a freshman quarterback. I know at the beginning of the season we were saying, oh, by this point he might not be a freshman anymore, but I think he showed that he still is. And you know, and he still won the football game. Like, he still won the football game, Bryce. There's certain things that bother me, though. How many completely unblocked end rushes came right at Bryce in that game? I counted 4. Like, the guys lined up, not down in a stance, like straight up ready to just run right at him. There's no tight end, and he goes unblocked right at Bryce 4 times.
Well,
I counted.
I think they started 3 true freshmen in that game.
That's fine, but where's the adjustments in that situation? How are you? It was like crossing patterns against Ohio State. I was getting flashbacks. Like,
no,
he's right there.
You're 100% right, but I think that's the youth of the team, right? They're one of the youngest teams in the Power Four.
But the coaching staff has to see that and make adjustments to it. No, I think my biggest issue.
I'm not trying to make excuses at all, and you're right. I think the problem is they've had so many injuries along the offensive line already. Mm-hmm. That there's just not the guys there to make the adjustments.
Right.
The guys who are there, the guys who are left there, some of them might not even be ready to play yet.
But
they're kind of stuck. They're kind of stuck.
Put anybody there, anybody there, at least to slow down. Who, like a free rusher at the quarterback? I mean, I was blown away. I'm there talking to myself in a hotel lobby because everyone else is watching the baseball game, and I'm just blown away. I'm like, he's right there. There's a guy on the end, you know, just going nuts. Another thing I noticed too is just follow Max Brennison. When you're watching the game, just watch where 44 is, and that's where the play's going. Like, that guy is an absolute stud of a fullback or whatever he is. Absolute stud. Loved watching that. Loved it. I'm glad Michigan State didn't catch on to that too much.
All in all, I think it was not the game I wanted to see. I wasn't happy after the game, but
I was relieved, but I wouldn't say I was happy. That's a good way to put it.
But it's a game, like we've said already a few times. There's been Michigan teams that were really good that would have lost that game.
Sure.
And they didn't. And you got out of East Lansing, a place usually you don't play very well, or you get upset, and you won. You stayed cool, even though there was moments where you could have lost it. So I got to give the coaching staff credit for that, because there was a few plays I was like, oh, here we go. Here comes the flag. Somebody's going to do something crazy, and they didn't.
Yep.
So that's
luckily it usually went against MSU.
Yeah, and it was MSU this time doing it. And it's a testament to the coaching staff for having these guys ready for that.
Yeah, emotionally ready. Yeah, I think it was obvious Jonathan Smith didn't have his team. I mean, granted, like, the talent differential is definitely sways towards Michigan in this matchup, but he just didn't have his team ready emotionally.
I don't even think Jonathan Smith, by his facial expressions, realized he was at a football game.
Yeah, it was Joe Rossi. That's the defensive coordinator's name.
Yeah, Joe Rossi.
He was the one.
He was in the game. Jonathan Smith, I don't think, had any idea he was even coaching a game.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they cut off his microphone.
Yeah.
And all he could hear was, like, his favorite tunes just playing in his ears.
They should just took it from him, and he could have coached like Brady Hoke. But I think Rossi's prime candidate to be interim by the end of the season, or a couple weeks.
Oh, if I had to bet on it, I forget who they play this week, and then they have a bye. He'll be gone Sunday. This upcoming Sunday, we'll get the announcement.
Yeah.
So we go from Michigan State now to another struggling team
Yeah.
in Purdue under the lights at 7 p.m. Big Ten Network.
Why does it always have to be at night? They play Minnesota. Michigan State plays Minnesota. Sorry, that's what I was looking for. They travel to Minnesota as well, so that doesn't look good for Mr. Smith. But yeah, under the lights against Purdue. I'm just an old man now. You know, I just want my noon game. I just want my noon game back. But you know, it's always nice having the primetime spot. The entire country's watching. But none of that matters. Under the lights always has a special feeling. And it always looks good on TV. And actually last year, my wife and I went to the Northwestern game at night, and the Big House at night is something special.
I'm going to the game, so I think it's going to be very. I don't mind night games. The problem is getting out of there so late.
Yeah.
But it is against, and it's against. If you told me like Oregon's coming in, or USC or somebody. Yeah, it's great. But when you have a 2-6, 0-5 team in the Big Ten coming in, a quarterback that's thrown 8 touchdowns to 7 interceptions and has been sacked 11 times, this is going to be a very long night. I have a feeling.
Boilermakers.
For Boilermakers and for Michigan fans. Because those commercial breaks after every touchdown, or every change of possession,
I mean,
the advertisers might get their money in this one.
Well, let's just hope that during those TV timeouts that Michigan stays on point, doesn't get lazy, doesn't get complacent with their opponent, and doesn't allow stupid mistakes to happen. I don't want any taunting. I don't want any flagrant fouls against, was it against USC? We're completely against the play. One of our DBs was like showing off to the sideline.
Nebraska.
That was Nebraska game. None of that. Yeah. Like let's win the football game by 46 points, and let's no one get injured. Let's have the starters sitting by the middle of the third quarter. Let's see our depth come in. Let's see what can happen, and let's move on to the next week.
Yeah, I think the penalty thing after the Michigan State game, I'm sorry, you're starting to see that Michigan brand of football where they're playing a lot more discipline.
Yes.
So I'm not too worried about that. What I'm more worried about is, like you just said, going into the game, complacent. You just beat your rival.
Yeah.
You're heading home, 0-5 team. And you have that Penn State UCLA type of game. Where Purdue just comes in. Purdue just comes in, plays a game. Michigan just gets behind the 8 ball at first, and their offense isn't built to come back. And you're just constantly chasing.
Obviously I don't want to jinx it, but I just can't see. Moore's not James Franklin.
No.
He's not known. He's already won the big game. He's already won the big game. That's not floating over his head. That's not something he needs. That's not a hill he needs to climb. He's climbed it and he's gone over it. I think this will be. We'll show off a little bit. We'll get to see some of Bryce's talents, or sometimes he just has to take a little bit of mustard off the ball. It just seems sometimes when he could just like throw the ball to a wide open tight end or streaking wide receiver across the field, he decides to throw a fastball. Like he just needs to slow it down sometimes.
And he has to take the dump off pass.
Yes.
You don't need to throw it 12 yards every time.
But we went off on a tangent there, but I think we'll see a lot of Bryce. We'll see a lot of running. We'll see a lot of throwing, and then we're just going to ground and pound the whole second half.
And don't throw to Morgan no more.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, Why are we running reverses anymore? Is anyone fooled by the reverse anymore? Like that is like mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s stuff. I haven't seen one, especially with Morgan. Not one reverse has gone for more than maybe 6 yards. Like let's just quit
I
it.
think
It's, okay, we're done.
it's the only way you're gonna keep Morgan playing in the game at this point. Like anybody but Morgan.
Why do we need Morgan playing in the game?
I have no idea.
You know, like cool. Return the kicks, return the punts. Don't drop them, okay? And you catch the 3-yard slant. That's all I'm asking from him. But like, who's calling these reverses?
I don't know.
Can you remember the last time a Michigan reverse went to the house, like for 20, 30 yards?
Yeah, I think his name was Charles Woodson. I think his name was Charles Woodson who took
Charles Woodson, maybe Braylon Edwards, maybe Steve Breston, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, think of how long ago that was.
Braylon Edwards, maybe.
15,
who knows?
18 years ago.
Yeah, I don't need to see the reverse or
trick plays. Cool. Michigan's always known for some trick plays. Just be creative. The reverse is not working anymore, and we need to just cut it out. You know, get it out of the playbook.
Yeah, we don't need to see, I don't need to see it anymore. It's one of those things that
No.
And it's always
like they're doing it for the tradition of it.
And
I give Michigan all that tradition.
The problem is they use it and it'll be like a 2nd and 12 and they get 4 yards. So they leave you in 4th and forever.
4th and long or 3rd and long.
And
3rd and 6
Michigan's been terrible at anything over, I think, the 7 or 8 yard mark at converting.
Unless they're giving it to Haynes, or they're swinging it out to him, or Marshall.
Well, 90% of the times they hand it off and they'll pick up 7 and they need 9.
Yeah, it's true. Well, hey.
Because the numbers in this game do not favor Purdue at all.
No.
The only thing Purdue does better than us is pass.
That's not good. Yeah, they're actually quite better than us. But that's okay. It's all about that points allowed.
What sucks is, yards allowed, yards allowed is terrible too for them. They give up almost 400 yards of offense a game.
Yeah, and almost 28 points. Cool. Sounds good. I'll take those odds.
Oh, and the turnover differential. You don't want to be minus 11.
No, you don't. Do you? I'll take that plus 9 though. Pretty sweet.
The same thing I said. Excuse me. The same thing I said last week. I think you're going to see the defense play a lot in the backfield. Tackles for losses. You're going to see Wink doing Wink things. Hopefully he's not Mr. Dr. Blitz again. And he kind of keeps it the way he's played the second half against Washington and this game against Michigan State, where it's let 4 or 5 guys do what they have to do and let the other guys drive back in coverage. Try not to get the mismatches with linebackers on guys who have no business covering. Mm-hmm. And just play Michigan football.
And we've gone 34 minutes already. Now we're talking about the defense. I think it's about time we bring up number 30, Mr. Jimmy Rolder. What a game.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? What a game. That guy was everywhere. Recovered the punt. Tackles for loss. Did he not have an interception? Did he not recover a fumble? Like, maybe not an interception.
I don't think he had an interception.
But he was everywhere. He was stopped. He made so many clutch stops. It just seemed like they were saying his name and showing number 30. I felt like he was playing free safety because he was in on every tackle. You know what I mean? Like, what a beauty. What a beauty play. What a beauty game for that young man. He's a senior, too.
No, I thought definitely had a good game. And there was a lot of guys on defense that had, I think, really good games.
Jair Hill.
When you hold a guy like Aiden Childs, who I think is better than he's looked at Michigan State, I just don't think he has the offensive line or the weapons besides Marsh to be the guy he was projected to be.
Right.
Because I tell you right now, he's going to enter the portal after this year, and somebody's going to get one hell of a quarterback.
Yep. Could go to somewhere like Arizona State or let me think.
No, I think he's going to go to a top program.
Yeah?
I think he's going to go to – I think somebody's going to realize, or they already do, how much talent this kid actually has. And it's just he's at the wrong spot. And it happens.
I think that's painfully obvious, especially if they're getting a new head coach next year. He gone.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many options, too.
Purdue's leading running back, 521 yards. The wide receiver, Michael Jackson III. Michael Jackson III, I just realized that was his name.
That's hilarious.
398 yards is their leading wide receiver. I just don't think it's a good matchup for Purdue.
It's not.
Michigan.
It's obviously not. It's obviously a game. I don't want to say obviously, but like, I mean, come on. It already happened once this year. We're not going to have another Penn State UCLA. We're at the Big House. We're at night. I think they'll be overwhelmed, not by I don't think by the bright lights or anything like that, but the literal and figurative bright lights. I just think they'll be outclassed. I think Bryce is going to have that bounce back game against a lesser opponent than Michigan State, a lesser opponent than Michigan. And I think business will be taken care of early and often. And then the second half will be, the majority of the second half will be like RB3. We'll get to see, some of our depth in case someone gets injured. We'll get used to some names. That's what I'm expecting from this game.
Yeah. And Michigan's coming in as a 21-point favorite. So
I don't know if I'd take the spread just because I do believe that if Michigan does get up by, say, 28 points at some point in the game, when the second and third stringers come in, and they'll just be ground and pounding it the whole way. So it'll give Purdue starters a little bit of opportunity to maybe score a garbage time touchdown or whatever. But I that's a lot of points, but really not college. So
I don't know. I wouldn't.
It's terrible. I bet I lose every bet I make. So I don't know why I'm even trying to give betting.
I wouldn't touch it.
Was that you wouldn't?
I wouldn't touch this game at all. It's 21 points. With Michigan, you never know what you're going to get.
Especially this team.
Like, you have a team that's not really giving up a lot of yards. Then you have a team like Purdue who's not really gaining a lot of yards. Purdue doesn't put up a lot of points. Either does really Michigan. But Michigan also doesn't give up a lot of points. So it's going to be one of those things where could Michigan pitch a shootout? Possibly. Could they give up 12, 15 points? Yeah, that's possible too. Like,
oh, that's more than possible.
Like,
absolutely.
could I see Purdue going down the field 4 times and kicking 4 field goals for 12 points? Yeah, 100%. Like, it's just a game. I don't think.
Absolutely. I mean,
and
there's always the potential for a big play.
And it's November now. Next Tuesday, I believe it's Tuesday, the first college football playoff poll comes out, right? For Michigan, you're on right now on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? 2 losses. There's a lot of 2-loss teams in college football right now. This is where you're going to have to start showing that you are growing and you are starting to produce and you are a playoff team. Because if we're going to be completely honest right now, Michigan doesn't look like a playoff team yet. But there's still a lot
from now until the last game of the year, we need to absolutely demolish our opponents.
Yes.
It seems like we have a path to that outcome, but we need to start scoring some points early, often, and then continuously throughout the games. Because even though it's a playoff, you still got to get voted in. If the outside looking in or the inside just looking out, it all comes down to seedings and votes, right? Like, so
You got to show
that you can win the
you got to
game
show a consistent passing game. Everybody knows you can run the ball. You got to show that you could be somewhat balanced, and you can't have Underwood going 8 for 17.
Right.
You just can't have that for 80, whatever it was, 86 yards. The time's now.
The time is now.
It's
do it.
4 games left.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland, and Ohio State.
So we should, with a bye in there too, right?
Yeah.
After Purdue, between Purdue and Northwestern, there's a bye week.
Yeah, and then we're on the road for back-to-back games, and we're not back home until after the Ohio State game. So Thanksgiving weekend.
The road.
So it's gonna be almost a month that we're not gonna see Michigan back in the big house. So this is their chance for that one.
On the road in Chicago does not scare me. Going to Northwestern does not scare me, but I believe that Maryland game could be a trap game.
Yeah.
The week before, say we roll these next 2 teams, we roll Purdue, we rest up, we roll Northwestern, and then we go to Maryland and lay an egg. It just seems like one of those storyline trap games to me. It worries me a little bit, but we've got so much stuff to worry about before we even get there. So there's no point in even thinking about it.
Just one game at a time. And at this point, I think there shouldn't be a reason why we don't go into Ohio State 9-2, needing that game. And then you let it go. You see what happens from there.
Yeah. You ball out. That's what has to happen, because Ohio's coming in ready. They've been threatening that 50 burger for since 2019 now, and it hasn't happened. So they're built up. They're ready to go, and they're not going to make the same mistakes. Day's not going to make the same mistakes he made last year. He's got nothing to prove to win a game the way he thinks they're supposed to win a game. They are going to win a game, or attempt to win a game, the way they've been winning all their games, by blowout fashion.
And for a guy like Hartline, there's already rumors that he's discussed with Penn State. I'm sure there's some other schools that would love to see a guy like that as their head coach, especially with 100%. The way he recruits. So for him, it's every game's an addition, right?
Yeah, if he goes to Penn State, that'd be perfect for him, because he still has Ohio to recruit from. He still has the Midwest to recruit from. That'd be a perfect fit for him.
Yeah, so for him, every game is him showing off what he can do, right?
Yep. Just like every coordinator, really, but it's time for him now. He's been around the coordinator block for a few years now, so it's time. I think it's probably time for him. So yeah, that's and who else better to pad your resume with than by beating Michigan, someone he hasn't beaten while he's been a coordinator.
No, so it's gonna be a very interesting month of November. Depending on what we do here, I'm gonna be really interested to see where Michigan gets slotted. If we have a big win, if we can have a big win and the offense looks good, where the playoff committee slots them, I think is going to tell us a lot of what has to happen over the next 3 games for us to be in that playoff picture. But you're also going to need some help from these other teams that are sitting in front of you to lose a few games, right?
Hey, when you're not in control of your own destiny, when you're not undefeated, You got to rely on that sometimes. But all Michigan has to do is concentrate on winning the game, the task at hand, and winning that next game. And right now, the Boilermakers are in the crosshairs, and it's time. It's time to we got to blow them out. That's what we got to do. We got to impress people, and we gotta show that our quarterback is this dual threat, amazing guy, like amazing player. He still may be a true freshman, but it's time. It's time now to ball out.
Yeah, the days of trying to figure it out are gone.
Yep.
You're almost all the calendar's switching. Season's almost done.
Yep.
It's 66. Well, I figure about 66% done. 4 games left. Now it's time. The time is now. This is what you built the whole season for. You had a bad loss against Oklahoma. You had a bad loss against USC. It's like you said the whole year, right? Learn. Well, you got 3 more games to learn before you get to play the biggest of the big.
Yeah, the biggest rivalry in college sports.
So
you
better be ready to go. Underwood needs to be ready to go for that game. And if the goal is to make the playoff, if we're going to judge the season on making a playoff, because let's be honest, actually all the bowl games besides playoff bowl games don't matter anymore. It's like getting
to watch on New Year's Day.
It's a participation trophy.
Mm-hmm.
And
half the team doesn't play in them anyways.
It's whatever it is, the 14 or 15 extra practices teams get to play in them. It's the only reason they do. And what this transfer portal is going to look like with all these coaching changes, these coaches aren't going to be focused on anything else but that.
No, and they shouldn't be, because that's the game now. And that's all more reason to go back to the first part of this podcast is to keep Moore. Because if we keep more players are going to want to come here and play with Bryce and play with, these young guys that are coming up. And if Moore's here, I think that gives them more of an opportunity to sign those 4 or 5-star recruits. And we move on to next season. But before we move on to the next season, let's play the Boilermakers and let's make some noise.
So Boilermakers, we showed the stats. This doesn't look like it's going to be much of a game. Who do you think is going to – well, you know what? Let's switch it up first. We did it last week, and we'll do it this week again.
Okay.
Penn State interim coach heading to the shoe. Who are you taking? Who are you taking in that game?
Ohio.
Score.
48-21. 48-17.
Okay, I'm going to go Ohio State 38, Penn State 7. I think Dave takes his foot off the gas. I think Dave takes his foot off the gas a little bit in that one. Now, Michigan and Purdue. What are you taking for that?
Michigan, Purdue. I am going to go. It's not going to. I don't think it's going to be. I'm trying not to make the same mistake I made last week, where I preached all this stuff about rivalry game, and then I make a ridiculous score prediction. How about 31-13 for Michigan?
I'm going to go 34.
Oh, here we go. What's it going to be, Mike? What's it going to be?
34-20.
34-20. Giving Purdue some extra credit there. I like that.
I think
wrong with giving the
Michigan's going
opponent
to
some
jump.
respect.
I think Michigan's going to jump ahead first, get out to a little bit of a
You're
lead.
thinking garbage time points.
Yeah, and like you said, you're gonna see a few garbage time points at the very end, sort of like what Michigan State did. If you had Michigan covering and then you've seen a 7 touchdown with 7 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean,
for a terrible beat. But all in all, you know what? I think it's going to be I'm not going to call it a good win, but every win's a good win.
every win's a good win right now. We just went over it. We have to score a bunch of points, and we have to win convincingly so that we're taken a little bit more seriously. I mean, I know it's only Purdue, but we got to show what we can do against lesser opponents so that we're not on the outside looking in when it does come down to that last game of the year.
Yeah. Well, no matter what, we don't want to be on the outside looking in when it comes to the game after the day after that game. Yeah, especially if we win. Because nothing would be worse than if we somehow beat Ohio State and on Selection Sunday not hear your name in the playoffs.
Not a chance. There wouldn't be not a chance in the world would they keep Michigan out of the playoff if they went 10-2 and beat Ohio State for the 5th year in a row. There's not a chance.
I thought the same thing. But
3 teams from the Big Ten would make it. Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio State.
No.
Easy peasy.
It would be Oregon, Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State.
Now you're making me think, Mike, and I really don't like that.
I know. I can see the smoke. I see the smoke. No, I was having a conversation with somebody today, and I said it wouldn't surprise me if you see a 3-loss SEC team bypass a 2-loss Big Ten team because you're already hearing that narrative. Yeah. You're already hearing that narrative. But we got lots of time before that. Let's just get through the next 3 weeks. And then the fun starts.
Yep.
And maybe we can get Mr. Red Pants himself to come on the show and stop being scared.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I tried to chirp him to get on here last week, and it didn't work. He stuck to his guns.
Maybe we'll bring on 2 people, and we could show a true family divided by the rivalry.
Yeah, well, I've seen that happen before. I've watched that happen for almost 15 years now. So it's beautiful.
We could just jump off the show and just let those 2 go at
it. Just let the bros go for it, for sure.
See, that's a tease right there. That's a podcast tease. They call it.
We call it tease in the biz.
But anyways, Wolverine Nation, Saturday night, 7:00, the Big House. Let's take it to the Boilermakers. We need a big win.
Big win.
We got to keep these playoff hopes alive.
Mm-hmm.
And always go blue. And remember one thing. Ohio State might be good at football, but they're terrible at spelling.
It's true. Whoa.